This series is going to be longer than all of the people's watching's workday. It's Ottoman Chinese. Okay, we might be saved here. Ladies and gents, welcome back to the channel for game number 3 of this one best of 5. So far, this series has collectively been 2 hours long. We have 3 games potentially ahead of us. Bare minimum 2. Used to be you'd be thinking hyper late game, mass great bombards, Chinese hand candies, farms, etc. Ottomans, I don't think you aim for that timing anymore. You're probably looking to be more aggressive here nowadays. So we might end up with the first quick game of the series. Don't hold your breath though. Currently your workday, they pay me, I watch KP. That's a damn good deal. Should keep doing more of that. So, look at the spawn. I mean, we know there's going to be pro scouts. The split is quite funneled, which is really good for B. It means he can try to contest a little. Probably not going to be going pro scouts himself, but he can just try to blob spears, get a few Sipahi in, deny what is the clear and obvious win condition of the Chinese, which is, have you ever eaten venison before? I just hit the realization, I don't think I've actually ever eaten venison. I'm not sure if I'm missing out. That's like those fancy people's meat. I don't have that type of money. Oh, good idea, actually. I'll run a minute of ads now to protect you guys when things actually happen. Sorry, forgot to do it a little bit earlier. But we're talking opening players here, right? So we do get the military school beginning. That's going to allow them to start shoving the deer in. Dimu's going to want to scout that and look to just lame the deer so they can't be pushed back. Imperial Academy is going to be coming in. Look at his spawn. It's good and bad. A lot of gold in the back, but also the tree lines aren't very naturally defendable. Right? You have to do a lot of moving out to actually get that covered. And what is up, M7? Thank you very much, mate. 13 months now. Appreciate the sub. We are going to get the Sultani trade network. This has kind of just become the bread and butter of Ottomans. I want to say 80-85% of games at least we see this. Used to be Madrasa was full meta, but ever since they just allowed this passive gold gen, they increased the amount you got. I feel like people have just been leaning harder and harder towards the trade network. You had time to do groceries, you come back and G3 just started? Yeah. So the original plan was like, hey, we'll complete this series and then like maybe we'll have enough time to check out one of the other quarterfinals before going into the semifinals up against WAM. That's probably not going to happen now. I feel like at this rate, we'll probably just end up hopping straight into the WAM series. All right, what was the predictions like from you guys? 75%. Yeah, it's China. Then again, if there was a player you trusted with Ottomans right now, I'm wondering if there's a way B can just make this about feudal age. It's just so difficult against pro scouting China. Rus, China, Juji, these are all Civ that can just fast tech on you with very little food. Food to begin with, 9 sheep, more than enough to work with. Brilliant micro over there. Gets the shivs out, gets the kill. And he's going to begin the deer shove in, but you already see what's happening, right? Dimu's coming over. He will look to just lame this, right? Rip. No? Okay. Doesn't want to risk it for the biscuit. Which means over time, B will be able to safely remove at least 1 deer stack from the map. Makes his position in this game feel a little bit better. Meanwhile, in the land of Benny Boy, there is only one play for the Chinese. Every single goddamn game. It's so innovative and different. Isn't Ottomans a bit of an underwhelming Civ at the moment? I think they are situationally viable. If they have the right matchup, they can be quite lethal. You saw that just yesterday with the Delhi matchup in particular. China's a bit weirder, I think. To me, I view it like Ottoman's late game got nerfed, and China's didn't. Right? China's early game got buffed. So arguably, the window where you're favored is worse, like is weaker than it was before, because your opponent's early game got buffed up, while your late game just kind of got put out into pastures, right? Most people don't really believe in the plan of the Great Bombards anymore. And you get 24 gold per trader sitting inside here. It's not bad. Honestly, this is a great spawn to actually go active trade. It's just, we haven't seen B do that, even when he picked Ottomans on Frisian. So I'm not expecting it here. I think we all just need a moment to mentally reset after that last game. Oh, the trade network charges you full price of admission. You have to pay the 60/60. You don't get a discount there. So if you wanted to just spam them for the passive income, it's going to take you like 5 minutes to return your investment. Technically, it takes you 5.5 minutes because you have to wait for the thing you invested in to actually spawn. So deer... most of the deer made it home. And then presumably he's now going to try to intercept on the secondary stack. Yeah, Dimmu just took a very defensive alignment here, right? And this might punish him, guys, because B did go pro scouts. Despite what we expected here, he went for it anyway. And that makes sense of the Sultani trade network. It gives you the extra gold pump to get into your timing here. So what? A double deer stack split each way? This pace? I'm wondering if maybe B can contest Dimmu. Seems he's more focused on just protecting his gains. So it's probably just going to be a 14-14 deer stack split. Barbican is now going to be coming in. So Dimmu just going to start hunkering down. Unlikely we see him pushing feudal. This is actually one of the hardest civs in the game to push feudal. The reason isn't just because Ottomans get all these vizier points that makes them better. Like, we even have the imam point already. The other problem is this. You guys seeing that right there? Wow. Feudal all in for China. You want to mash Yiganu. It'd be a shame if your opponent had Sipahi, which is a better horseman, and then +1 armor, and then another +1 armor. It's just not ideal. So B is going to be rushing Castle Age. Dimmu is going to have to mirror. Timing should be very similar, but Dimmu should be quicker due to the build speed. Which is kind of crazy when you consider the fact that he also did add in an additional landmark along the way. But the trade-off is B does have passive gen right now. Right? That's actually most of the difference. Is each of these military schools being 250. The Barbican was 600. So you build 2 of these military schools plus a blacksmith. You even Stevens. Does anyone get the feeling that we might be going into the late game again? I'm kind of stroking my chin on this one, because we did make a bold statement that Coastal Cliffs might have more wood than Dry Arabia. I think it's quite possible that that holds true still. Maybe not. There's lots of tiny tree lines. I think it's a lot closer than you'd expect, though. Pure pass now coming in from Dimmu. It's going to be a pass guard flood. Smart choice. You don't want to build Lancers against Ottomans. They have got those infamous Janissary to just gun you down. So, pass guard, flood, good movement speed, gives him map control. It is going to be a race for relics. The problem is, B has an edge there. He went for the Vizier point. So his boys should already be moving out for the goodies. I say, but I think he forgot about them. Yeah, he's so busy just harassing around the map, he forgot to move out the imams. That's interesting. So Dimmu didn't even go PG, he just went straight spears. I guess you have to answer the Sipahi. Probably knew that his opponent was teching. Usually you think PG is a lot better if your opponent's slow on tech. Because obviously Castle Age units much better against field units. And he's got to be assuming that B would go Lancers. That's what most fast Ottoman castle builds do. And he'd be right. It is on the way. Meantime, imams are moving out. Just kind of unfortunate he didn't do this on time. B could have had 2 relics already coming home. Almost like a pseudo Delhi effect. Good luck with that. I don't know about this one, dog. Wallah's gonna come out. That's gonna scare him away. The Vizier points also stacking up. First Lancers hitting the field here. Talk about subscribing to a B build. I feel like if you covered the names of these two players, you'd assume that B is on the Chinese. This is usually how he's been playing a lot of games recently. Blob, so many speeds, your opponent can't even register it, let alone contest it. Proven to be pretty effective, especially when you consider how much food he still has in reserve, by the way. I don't know if you really want to rush Yuan here. If you have relics, yes. So this could be a really sick build for Duma. If he gets 3 of the relics, just go Yuan for the pagodas. So far, he only has 1 relic. Second one looks secure. I think third is definitely going to be. So pretty decent split for him. On top of that, he should have the Vizier points soon to go for the third military school. Yep. I mean, if you could. I highly doubt it, though. It would take quite some micro to make that one happen. Crossbow switch now on the way for Dimmu. It looks like we are going to have a brawl over that final relic. Has got the melee armor, which is why the Imam is basically still alive. Flash is going to come in. Has got his own spearman layered in, but remember, he never vetted them. The veterancy is still, what, 15 seconds out? The Imam heal is helping a lot here, though. It's not a lot, but it's good, honest living. And there's nothing left to contest that now. With slow-moving spears, crossbows, he's going to have to back up. Looks like he was holding on to the opportunity to go Yuan. I don't think you can rush Imperial here, though. Ottoman does need to consider some layer of defense here. But I don't think this is for defense, folks. This looks like a 2TC ploy. Kind of makes sense. You just want to start scaling here. Hunker down. Like, this isn't exactly your strong point in the game. Ottoman to this stage will be vomiting out a lot of additional perks with those Vizier points. So in some ways, it's just kind of better to get a step ahead. We don't have fancy double PC production, so we're going to do this instead. So Anatolian field works. He's in a rough spot. There should just be military campus next. And then after that, maybe Advanced Academy would be worth going into. Just to prep for that late game. Oh god, that was weird. Made me feel like I was tripping balls the way that the UI freaked out there. Thought my game was going to crash. And there we go. It is just a bit of overgathering. It is going to be the second TC. Remember, with Song, this is going to accelerate his lead quite healthily. But don't worry, guys. B can mirror him. He just needs to go for Pax Ottoman. No, I'm not going to finish that statement. I think the way you can make Pax Ottomana good is if the ability was activatable with a cooldown. So for those who don't know, the Pax Ottomana, it makes your TCs 50% quicker for 5 minutes. That's it, though. Like, 5 minutes, and then it's done. No more. So you use these very valuable Vizier points that, remember, are limited. You can't get infinites of them. And you get a 5-minute window, and that's it. I think what maybe would make it more tempting, I still don't know if it'd be enough, but if instead you had Pax Ottomana, you activate for 5 minutes, it goes on cooldown for 5 minutes. And then you can activate it again after those 5-minute cooldowns, right? So, you know, 50% uptime every 10 minutes. Which means collectively in the game, you get a 25% increase to your production speed of TCs. That's kind of tempting. Basically Song. But it's burst Song, right? So it's all about how you play around those timings. And remember, it's only going to be lots of more villagers if you build additional TCs. And yes, we do indeed have the spirals coming. Janissaries as well. He should have, yep, additional military school then. Dimu just needs to get to Imperial now. Granary transition comes first. After that, it should be pretty good, though. His spawn is very good for this timing. We talked about the back spawn of golds. He got the walls up. So he's got the gold, got berries here as well. Plenty to work with. How about after the 5-min uptime, the CD is actually 10 mins rather than your suggestion of 5? I think that is way too long of a cooldown. No one would take the ability. You have to remember, you just have such limited amounts of points, especially considering that not many people go for the other tier 3 landmark, right? The one that gives you additional Vizier points. Most people are going to go for Memory Imperial Armory. We do have a march forward here. He seems to be aware that Dumu might be hunkering down for the hyper late game. He doesn't want to allow it. He's going to start marching in a pretty big army at that. Dumu's trickling troops back to try and defend, but that's going to leave it harder to do so, actually. Military lead now building. Ben? Do we not have a gate? We do. Instead, I think that might have been an accidental A-click command. Every troop matters here right now. Dumu is trailing by, what, 30 military? Scary. Nesta bees are coming for him, but those are not tanky Nesta bees, remember. He did not get Yuan, and he chose Imperial Palace. Love the fact he's just burning this down. Removing the vision. It's going to make Dumu feel pretty naked. Watch the vision. Boom. Doesn't know what's coming next. He doesn't know if this is a fake out where his opponent is actually teching behind. He doesn't know if it's the all-in. Ben lacks the gold vision that we've been gifted with. Very little wood to work with now. With the double forward tree line, it's a great defensive strategy, but if you get pushed like this, you don't have anything. B, we talked about his obsession with mass spears. He's doing it again. He's just trying to get the Nesta bees together here. Scream shots coming in, the mangoes as well. This could be big. He also does have the melee armor. TC now on fire. Nesta bee shots are coming through, but they don't seem to be good enough here. The only upside for Dumu is the Imam heal. Yeah, it's not on the full formation, but it's coming in now. The town center is down. And I think he's done it. I'm sorry, what was that? Ottoman trash Civ, Chinese best in the game. Move over, B's got something to say. A display of power right here. He timed it perfectly when Dumu was most vulnerable, when he needed that granary transition. Villagers, they're lining up. The spiritual shots will massacre them here. All he needs to do is target them. And that is Benny Boy dead to rights in game 3. Surely. The meat blob is dead. It's only Sprinkles left. Dumu still has 5 Nesta bees. But the tug of fire did come in. It's a 23 eco lead. B isn't able to put the final nail in the coffin just yet. But at this stage, Dumu is on his deathbed. Even so, even if B wins here, it won't be a victory in the series. It will just open the door for a win overall in game 4. Dumu has problems. The wood is the biggest of them. He needs to secure more while he can. There's a lot of gold he's sitting on also. B slowing down might be problematic here, actually. I mean, he does have Sacred Size. I guess he's just going to take the in-play. There's no way Dumu can mirror you. Not with 44 economy. So he's just going to go into Imperial Age and then look for the final push. I mean, at this rate, you could even consider just getting adjustable crossbars. By the time you tech, you'll have at least 3 mangoes. And adjustable crossbars destroys Nesta Bees, especially non-clock down knobs. And yeah, no, this isn't 2TC. Oh, honey. This will be a long wait for it to be 2TC song again. So now use Pax Octomana, right? No, please don't. Second TC in from B, though. That is a little greedy. He doesn't have a farm transition yet. Not a single farm built. Only the first one's coming in now. And the berries are running thin. Remember, this Civ cannot eat boar. Well, I thought for once we might have a quick game. Last game, when we said it looked like it was over, it was, what, 37 minutes in the game? Went on for double that. So I guess this game's going to be ending 40 minutes. Close to 30 at least. Got 7 minutes on the timer. So guys, what we can really dissect from all of Anatan's talk is that he wants B to win because he knows he can definitely beat B. He's already done that last week. Jimmu, though, what a wild card. You never know what Benny Boy's going to do. I'm scared of B. Didn't you 4-1 him last week? Let me just double check my own tournament there. Sorry, 4-0. 4-0. He's killing China with Otto. You better ban it then. Maybe let Zhu Ji through. I hear it's a weak Civ. And wait, we have a decap. What? Okay, you need to get Imperial now. Stop faffing around. Istanbul Observatory now on the way. You're going to need to keep pushing. It's going to be Quadra Mangonel by the time he's teched. That's actually a pretty big deal. With the gold gathering as it is, I think you just rush adjustable crossbars. It sounds kind of wild, but like, what does Dumu have? You just need a way of killing the buildings, killing the siege. Second TC is now back up. But Dumu is still only a 1 granary stack. Second one now coming in. Probably looking at 3 minutes before Dumu is ready for Imperial. Because his tech timing, he's going to have to reinvest, right? Like, B will be able to attack him. Let's see, moment of truth. Do we just rush the most lethal tech in the game? No. We choose greed. Hive barns, wood, and food tech. Interesting choice on the food tech. 20 farms, we're not really at that crazy late game economy yet. Ever feel like B has reached that point where he's gone, Dimu's been streaming for a few hours now. If we just drag the day out long enough, is it better for me? It might be better for me, right? It kind of feels like that, doesn't it? Granary's coming in. Look at his gold. He's almost ready to pull the trigger on age 4 here. And that Sacred Site time, had it not been reset, I think it's cruise mode for B. I've given a bit too much wiggle room here to Dumu, allowing that decap on the south. Alright, 1s if you think Dumu's going to win this game. 2s if you think B is. 4 PM time for Dumu to go to bed. He's like, Asta, I got Chinese. You take over. This one's easy. The upgrades are on the way. When you tech, bees should be capable of fighting, which means Great Wall Gatehouse almost feels mandatory here. 7 nested bees. I just don't think you really care as much about Spirit Way first. Likely just Great Wall Gatehouse down here. You've got to keep dropping the north. This is an exposure point that I'm a bit worried about. There isn't an 8k gold you can really sneak out onto with the landmark drop. Flash is going to begin. Yeah, this is inviting the Great Wall Gatehouse. It has to be in this area. Yeah, he... No, that... You're playing with fire, boy. Are you kidding me? This is kind of like one of those games where the more you just defend, the more you lose. Great Wall Gatehouse and Yuan? Are you... Alright, if you guys ever see Dimu at an event, ask him to buy you a beer. He can clearly afford it. He just spent 5k on tech. Right. 3,600 resources and then another 1,800. The mangoes are coming. However... Has he waited too long? Upside is, at least it's not a Great Wall Gatehouse on a sacred site. Downside is, it's a Great Wall Gatehouse. Six minutes until B could win by sacred site. He hasn't secured the north side properly. South side is being secured now. We do have Great Bombards arriving. Vision is a problem here onto the Great Wall Gatehouse. Means it's not easy to snipe. Great Bombards do have the 11 tower range, right? So like, if you did get vision, you could just simply take this thing out. That's what makes it so crafty. Dumu's placement of that Great Wall Gatehouse is genius. We saw him doing one similar to Lash, but it felt more meaningful. This one is very strategic. Knock, knock. Time to open the way. Oh, we've been here before. A lot more troops were lost last time to get it down, though. Elite Army Tactics is on the way, but that's being mirrored. I'd say count is reasonable. Remember, they have got the extra damage from the trench guns. So 25 base rather pretty good. But this is much better. Pyrotechnics hand cannon is the true power of the Chinese late game. 5.5 tower range on these bad boys. And the movement speed to make sure you always get kited. STBs are starting to lose a bit of value at this stage. Great Bombards can't really snipe them too quickly, though. Yeah, it still takes 2 hits. However, we are up to 3 now. Keep is going to flop. Pagoda's now getting added in. Of course, in these situations, all China can think about is, ooh, I would love to get some more resources. Interesting strategy here. If you can just take out these landmarks here, you do put Dumu in a precarious situation where, weirdly enough, against China, a landmark victory is real. And while he's trying to repair his base, you can sneak the south side. That Great Wall Gatehouse is still the big question mark. Hasn't been answered at all. Yes, very strong, very good. What's Dimu's answer here? I think this is still the polarizing thing in the late game against Ottomans. This is the thing that used to make this comp completely utterly unreasonable. Build horsemen to counter these? Oh, I've got Janissaries. Okay, so, like, Yeah, but they're Janissaries, right? Yeah, and Janissaries kill cavalry quickly. Spears to run in? Sipahi. Even Palace Guard, Sipahi are tanky. Weirdly enough, though, B is just going to start retreating. Loses one of the bombards. Oh my god, he's fully invested in the Sacred Site win condition now. He's forced him to reveal his hand. And he'd rather not fight right into it. That healing is actually coming in clutch here. B. A lot more Sipahi are on the way. We do have the Great Bombard cannon emplacements coming through. Not quite in yet. Chemistry also being researched. A big deal here. The Great Bombard play. Dimu. His best bet is north. He doesn't know what we know, though. But all he knows, for what he can assume, B should have a castle on every single sacred site. It's the only logical reason he would have backed up like this when the clock is ticking down. Vision-wise, like, you have no confirmation otherwise. You can't see any of them. So start marching out. Sipahi are looking for that cheeky backstab. Minute and a half to go. Dimu's out of time. B just dragging him in like this is actually really bad for Dimu. He wanted to shift south side. He's going to have to go through the center. The center where there is plenty of production, which is being buffed up by the blacksmiths. Men-at-arms coming out every 11 seconds. SB's going to shuffle in. Good hit. Cuts the Janissary count in half. Great Bombards are just trying to trade with that backline of hand cannoneers, though. Both of them still neck and neck on military, but the Sipahi are in. Fortitude activated. And the Knobs can't do it anymore. Does get rid of one of the mangoes in return. But the ring of the bell has to be the knockout noise for Dimu here. He has no front line. He's going for the decap. The villagers, they're going in. Good blocker. Army is on the way. He's pulling his own villagers. B is 100% invested in the Great Bombard. Shuts it down. Civs that should not win, continuing to do so in this series. We open with JD losing to the Japanese. We follow up with the Malians slaying the HRE, and we now, in Game 3, see the Ottomans wreck one of the most powerful civs in the current meta.